Welcome to this week's real estate deal breakdown. My name is Greg Halbach, and today I'm going to talk to you about a wholesale deal in Tacoma, Washington that took over a year to get to the finish line, which is interesting. I'm going to tell you how I found the property, the lessons I've learned, and just the in and out of this deal and how it ended up being successful. But going back and looking at this from the rearview mirror might not have been worth it, and I'll tell you why. So first of all, if you're not familiar with me, I've been a full-time real estate investor now for 10 years. I've done over 400 flips and wholesales. I got a bunch of rentals, so I've got a lot of experience in this business, and the point of this is to share with you what I've learned so you can implement it in your business. So if you get value from this on YouTube, subscribe to my channel, like the video. If you're listening to this on audio, if you can share this show with someone else, it would mean a lot to me. So today we're going to talk about a property that I did. It was on East M Street in Tacoma, Washington on the east side. If you're familiar with Washington State, you probably know where that is, or at least the Seattle area, Seattle-Tacoma Metro. The way I found this deal was actually it was free. I had a list and it was tax delinquent. And I took the list and I filtered all the vacant properties that were tax delinquent. And then I found those owners and I called those owners individually. And this was back in the early 2024. I found this lead, or it's just a prospect at that point. And I saw vacant house, Tacoma, Washington, back taxes owed, out-of-state owners. So that's like, a honey hole for a prospect. Most likely they would sell at a discount. Made contact with the owner. Shocker, other people called them. So there was other people trying to get the same property. I believe he went into contract with a wholesaler like a year before that, and they gave him some stupid number. They weren't able to find a buyer. The contract was terminated. So he's like, I want to sell, and, I'm not ready to do it right now, and blah, blah, blah. So we stayed in touch for like 3 or 4 months, got clear on the offer. He said he'll take the offer. I sent him the contract. He never signed it. Chased him around for a while, got back to the negotiation table. He's like, I'm ready to sell. Let's do it. Sent him the contract again, ghosts me, doesn't answer. 3 to 4 months worth of follow-up again. No communication. I basically said, forget about it. I'm not chasing the guy around for a little tight wholesale deal because it was in a bad neighborhood and the house was really banged up. So I'm like, all right, well, it is what it is. I'm not going to even think about this. I've sent him calls, texts, video follow-up. I literally bought one of his t-shirts from his company that he started. And I sent him, hey, I'm in your t-shirt. I'm ready to buy your house. I'm jumping around like a monkey at a freaking zoo, trying to get you to sell me your house. And he just wouldn't reply. So I'm like, it is what it is. I'm not even going to mess with it. It's not even worth it at this point. Like, I'm just going to move on. And I get an email from this guy and he goes, Greg, I'm ready to sell. Here's the contract. I'm ready to sign. Let's do it. And I was like, where have you been? I haven't even heard from you. Like, what's going on here? And he's like, listen, I had some stuff going on. I will sign the contract. I promise. I said, I'll still honor the price we agreed on, but you need to let me wholesale it. I'm going to assign this to somebody else. It's not going to change the price you're getting, but I'm going to flip this contract to somebody else. They're going to buy it for me. I'm going to make some money. Are you okay with that? He's like, as long as I get my 240, I'm happy. So I got permission to wholesale it at that point. And I feel like that was fair because he basically jerked me around for a year. Get it under contract the next day, which was 4th of July, ironically. Got a buyer within 5 hours for $260. So a little $20,000 assignment put together. That closed 3 weeks later. Got 20 G's in the bank account, no money down, real estate at its finest. The end buyer ended up putting down the earnest money, which is cool. If you can pull that off, it's always nice, like a true no money down deal. So on the surface, you're probably thinking, Greg, what are you complaining about? Like, you made 20 grand, you didn't have any money in the deal. Like, how does that suck? Well, obviously that part doesn't suck, but what does suck is chasing a seller around for over a year to make money. And obviously, not every seller is going to be a laydown. Not every seller is going to sign on the spot. When you persist, it generally pays off. Like in this case, I probably made 60 phone calls to this guy, and the 61st phone call got the deal, right? So here are some lessons you can learn from this one. Number one, if you're going to chase someone like this, like a wild goose chase, generally you should probably have a bigger margin. Like obviously making 20 grand is awesome. I'm not complaining about that, but the return on effort was nominal there. So if you're going to chase a seller and be a savage, you should probably look for 40 to 50K deal minimum. Lesson number 2 is persistence breaks resistance. If you do persist like that and you copy and paste the activity that I did, you're going to get the success. It's going to happen. People, they notice persistence. Like, this guy keeps calling me. He's serious about buying the house. Takeaway number 3 here, and I've made this takeaway a million times. If you're going to do a wholesale deal and you're not going to close yourself, tell the seller. Don't be a jerk. That's important, especially in the Seattle market where it is just loaded with sharks and it is an absolute jungle up here. So if you're in the PNW, the more straightforward you can be with people, the more they're going to like it because there's so many sharks up here. So that's, I guess, a local lesson. And then the last lesson here, There's so many deals that are out there for free. This deal cost me $0 in marketing, didn't spend any money on mail. I literally went into my database, saw a vacant property that had delinquent taxes with an out-of-state owner, called them on my cell phone, got a deal that I made 20 grand on. Cost to acquire the deal was zero. And, as they say, you can't go broke making a profit. So that's the long and short of the M Street wholesale deal in Tacoma, Washington on the east side. If you're in Seattle or Tacoma, or if you're in the Hudson Valley, as you guys all know, or Delaware, you have a house you want to wholesale to me, because I will buy from wholesalers if the numbers make sense. Or if you got a deal you want to JV with me, send me an email, greg@velocityhousebuyers.com, or Instagram DM @grego37. I'll see you on the next REI deal breakdown. Take care.